Welcome back to the channel. I'm Rochelle. This is Brampton Gardener, and today is St. Patrick's Day. So what are you going to be pinching? So you might notice this tray is looking a little bit different. I had that middle section of empty soil blocks that were going down between the rows, and I decided to just pull them out. So I just actually dumped them in this tray down here, and that way I was able to scooch, let me back this up a little bit, I was able to scooch the plants over just to give them a little bit more room because they were really getting crowded, and I didn't want to get these smaller petunias to get too shaded out. So we have the pink, tickled pink climbing petunias here, and then we have purple wave petunias here, and then I have the white petunias, and then my status. So yeah, they just needed more room. So now for the pinching, do not pinch your status. So there are a handful of plants that do not want to be pinched out based on their growth habit, and status is one of them. So I will pinch back at some point my lobelia. I will pinch back all of my petunias, at some point my impatiens as well, and I think the roselle, but if you're not, and the pansies, but I will not be pinching back my status, and I will not be pinching back my ornamental kale. So before you pinch anything, double check. You can always ask Google, go online and check it out. So what we're going to do here, and I'm going to pinch these off even though we're going to start getting flower buds, just because I know what these look like. I've grown them several years in a row. So and another thing you could do, so what I could do if I wanted to, I'm going to come in, pinch this one back, down low. You can use pruners, you can use your fingernail, and then if I was really wanting to, I can come in and pinch it again here, and I can try and root it. So I will show you one, and we'll see if that's going to take. A lot of times they do. Petunias are really easy to root. So you can just simply do that to propagate your petunias. So let's say you got a batch of petunias and you didn't get, like this, one of my packs of coleus, and you can also do with coleus, one of my packs of coleus down here only came with 10 seeds. So when they get big enough, I can go ahead and propagate them and end up with more than 10 plants. So we're just going to come in, and I'm not going to bother doing it on the smaller ones just yet, but you still can if you want. So you would just come in and pinch out the very middle of it. And what that does is that just tells the plant to start creating outside branches, and it's going to just give you a bushier plant. Oh my gosh, some of these are just, you can just see how big some of these petunias are in here. So I'm just going to kind of come in and pull out a bunch of stuff and pinch out the middles. And a lot of, like, petunias are pretty hardy. You can just kind of come in and you can just prune them right back. And I'm going to pull out some of these leaves just because we need to get some air flowing in here, and we need to let some light get down to the bottom of some of these plants. So I'm just going to come in and pull out a lot of these leaves. So I'm going to try and set the camera down because it's very tricky to do this with one hand and not being able to see what I'm doing. So just pinching back my petunias. Okay. So it's really easy, and you can see already now we're just really opening up for a lot of greens light. Just pulling back those greens, get the light in there, and get some better airflow on those babies. So I'm going to do this whole tray. I'll show you back later. If you want to do it on your lobelia as well, you can. Just come in here, take out some of those taller ones, and that's going to create, oh, I'm not even showing you, sorry. That's going to create a nice branching effect on that. So I'm just going to do the taller ones here. And actually, like these ones, when I transplanted them, I should have done it before I transplanted them, because then they would have had a lot less to try and support. All right, and then over here, we are not ready on this tray yet, but at some point I will be pinching back my impatiens. And then These are the other petunias. Now these are the photo finish burgundy. So these ones, I only had the 10 seeds. So this is something that would be possibly advantageous for me when I pinch them back to put them into try to propagate those. And then these are the lime bicolor, and again, I could do that on these too. But look at this. I'm leaving this one here because I want to see the bloom, but this one here, I am going to pinch that bloom out. And I'm going to pinch this one out as well. Because I don't really want them going to bloom quite yet. So I'll probably stick those two in another little soil block. Got lots of them blooming, getting buds on them. Oh my goodness. And so this is the lime bicolor, and these are from Stokes Seeds, and they have done really, really well. Oh my goodness, so many flower buds. Oh, this is painful. This is painful. Painful but necessary for the health of the plant. So I'm just going to come in, and the ones that weren't blooming yet, didn't have buds, I'm still going to come in and just pinch out the very centers of those as well. Okay, so I'm going to finish doing that. Nothing here needs to get pinched on this tray, but this tray here we have the pansies, so I'll turn these around. Again, like I said, I'm not going to be pinching out the kale, but I am going to pinch the pansies. So again, you just come in and you're just going to take out that very center little piece of the plant. That, and if it's getting too leggy and the green leaves are getting too tall, they're not fitting into your area very well. Okay, so I'm going to finish giving everything a haircut, and I'll show you how it looks at the end. So while I'm pretty much done pinching back my pansies, here's my little plate. I'm not pinching back the ornamental kale like I said before, but what I am going to do is I'm going to clean it up a little bit. So I'm going to pull off some of these lower leaves, especially like the cotyledons. They're done. They've done their job. And we're going to just take off some of the bottom leaves because this variety of kale, we're growing it for like a nice tall stalk. So you want to kind of pinch off some of these lower leaves anyways. And that's going to allow for more airflow, and it's going to encourage it to grow up more. Okay, and that's going to, you see, when I come in, I'm going to take these off in here, and it's going to just open this up a lot more. So here's my pile. You can see I came in and I actually pulled off a lot of the larger leaves in here because they don't need these giant leaves. And that way it really opened it up more, so the more sun's going to get in. Because sometimes I'll end up with like half of them are really big and then half of them are still super tiny because they've been shaded out. And the status, I did not go in and pinch. So pinching back plants means you find the center of the plant like this and you pinch it out. Okay, so I did not pinch back my status because that's going to affect the bloom. But what I did go in is I did kind of pull some of the smaller leaves that were kind of around the edges like this. And just kind of thinned out a few of the leaves that it doesn't need, just to create more airflow in there and to get sunlight on some of the other smaller plants. But I did not pinch those back. The other plants that I did work on today, this tray looks a little bit better, a little bit looser and more open. And you can see how much more open these ones are. And there's a few cotyledons on here, so that's what I was pulling out, are just these. So the cotyledons are the seed leaves, right? So they don't need those anymore. They have done their job. But see how much more airflow we're going to get. Sorry, it's kind of dark here. You're going to get a lot more airflow in there now. And it's going to create that nice vertical height that we want on those plants. And then our other one that we worked on are these petunias here. So you can see I came in and I pulled out the very centers of these. Actually, I didn't do all of these because they're still a bit small and I wanted to try and propagate these. So I did not pull out all of the stems on these, but I did go through and get all of these. So you can see now there's kind of like a hole in the middle of the rosette. This one I left because I really, really want to see the blooms. So I'm being naughty and I left this, but I pulled out quite a few. And what I did with those because I actually stuck them in soil right here. So I'm going to try and see if I can propagate those by just sticking them in some damp soil blocks, and that'll be kind of cool if that works. So they kind of look like I came in here with a whippersnip, but they will bounce back, and they will be super happy in no time. And I might have to come in and just give them a nice shear off again, you know, before summer comes, because it's going to be a while before they can get planted out. Look at this guy, still right in the middle there. Pinch, and it's gone. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video on how to pinch back your annuals. Now keep in mind, some annuals need to be pinched back, some annuals don't. Like, do not pinch back certain annuals, because you will be pinching off your bloom stock. So always make sure to check ahead and to Google it. Floret has a really great guide on their website, but Google's always handy. Just ask, should I pinch back pansies? Should I pinch back status? And status says, no, do not pinch back your status. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. And don't worry, these babies are all going to bounce back and be bigger and healthier very soon. Bye.